This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pornian Bakery. If you're located in the Pornian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pornian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. All right, so the world gone crazy, but you know what? We're going to start with the world's leading example of not crazy, and that is Elon Musk being the person of the year. I think this is a an interesting one, because you know that like old adage where it's like leaders lead by example, bosses tell you what to do, and I almost feel like if you look at like voting, right, like for the president, right, you have to, or the prime minister, you have to like put in your vote. You're like, oh, this person is the one I want to lead the herd, right? And if you look at like Elon Musk, he's not asking for any votes. He's just acting by example, and by leading by example, he's like becoming this pivotal character in human history and a true change maker for society. You know, he's like doing everything, right?
Yeah.
We have like solar panels, electric cars, going to Mars, Neuralink, free internet, not free internet, but like high-speed wireless internet using satellites. You know, there's so much going on there, and there's stuff that we also don't even know about. So like, it makes sense that he's the person of the year, but it's funny to see like all the backlash surrounding it.
Well, it's because he's a billionaire, right? So this is just an automatic
we just hate billionaires,
reaction to hating them.
Yeah. And you were showing me that thing that was the Bernie Sanders thing, the tweet where he's like, what are we going to say to future generations about like what we did for climate change?
Yeah. And
he was like, Yeah. Like he like did like a little cough.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, this guy's the pioneer of trying to solve this issue, you know? And I think, yeah, like it just seems obvious that he'd be the person of the year if you're really paying attention to like things that are.
Well, person of the year
world.
doesn't necessarily mean it has to be like someone who's changing the world for good in that sense, right?
Okay, true. Yeah, it is. What do you think? It's just like a popularity contest.
It's I don't know about necessarily popularity. Maybe the most talked about, I guess, things like that, right? Because I remember someone else posting underneath that, because everyone's assumption is because they're like a good person or great person.
Things, or,
yeah. And then someone else posting, oh, Hitler was person of the year.
He was?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if it's 100% true, but that's what he posted. It's
okay, that's interesting.
So it's like,
if he was person of the year,
but it's like maybe like they affected that year. You know what I mean? They had an impact on that year or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like,
so it doesn't have to be like a good person.
Right. But where's Jeff Bezos in this?
I don't know if he ever was.
That's
I don't know.
I mean. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, you can be making lots of money, but like, what are you really doing? You know?
Yeah, right,
like,
right.
It's like, yeah, sure. Like Amazon.
Oh yeah, I think last year it was two people. It was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I think it was.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was election year, right? So their name was being.
So they were persons of the year.
Yeah.
That's weird though. Okay, so you know what? After a little conversation, I'm putting no merit in person of the year. Yeah, but I think it still stands though. That
it's still
he
good.
Is
It's still
great,
good too.
No, but I mean, like through his actions, like I think what I said in the beginning still holds true. It's like he's a real leader, not a boss. You know?
Yeah.
He's like really paving. Like he put his money into his beliefs, and like he's working like 20-hour days. You know what I mean? Like yeah. I think we should.
Well, yeah. I mean,
take a page out of that book.
In the very troubled times of Tesla, like
Yeah,
he was in
stuck with it.
he was saying
it.
like he like should be leading by example. As
Yeah,
again, it's like he's
totally.
why would I be like vacationing when we're struggling as a company?
Right, totally, totally,
So I
totally.
should be
Yeah.
here along with everybody else.
And like I like his whole perspective of like geniuses should make stuff. You know, that's what the world needs right now. We need like inventors.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah, it's a great example. It's so funny because it's like if you're on the outside looking in, you don't really know what's going on. You're kind of just like why is Elon Musk so important? You know. But then if you really dig into what he's doing, it's like who wouldn't think these things are commendable?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just funny, like general perspective narratives, because I know, like, I'm sure my parents are just like, who is this guy? Like, oh, he made a Tesla car. Oh yeah, cars are cool, you know. But no, like the real things that he's doing, he's like changing, like infrastructure, society. He's like pushing us as humans in a very specific direction.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like it's multiple big companies, right? It's like, or there's two big companies, and then there's other companies that he's also they're doing things as well, right?
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like there's potential for them to grow
Yeah,
in
totally.
the near future. So like Boring Company, that's I would
Oh
say
yeah, I
that's
totally
third.
forgot about that. Yeah. I forgot about the traffic.
Yeah.
He's trying to circumvent traffic by like going into the ground.
Yeah, and then they've made some deals in I think in Las Vegas. So they have
Nice.
they already have a certain segment done, like to get across certain. I think maybe the Vegas Strip, or it was like
Okay.
they have a big convention, right? You know, the
Yeah,
convention hall. So it's like underneath they have the tunnels, and they have
Yeah.
right now it's not automatic, but or autopilot yet, but they have like kind of like Uber-ish, but they're all Tesla cars
Oh,
that you
really?
just go in and they'll take you to the next spot.
That's pretty cool.
So, and then they're expanding that line.
Wow.
So they have some deals going on there.
See, you know, like when he said that on the Joe Rogan podcast, I was like, that's actually a really brilliant way to do it. Because he's like, everyone talks about like flying cars, right? Oh, flying cars is going to be what we all saw in shows. Like it creates like less traffic, et cetera, et cetera. But he's like, but thinking about the amount of sound that would be generated, or the amount of power that would
With
be
the current
generated.
tech, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, it'd be way easier if we just dug underground, because then you can go infinitely deep into the ground. Like it's the exact same thing, except instead of above ground, you're underground.
Right.
You know, and especially with like global catastrophes, we'll get to that soon because I just finished a book on it. But like with global catastrophes, like a lot of them go underground. Like you see that with like ancient civilizations, right? They like go into mountainsides or whatever to protect themselves. That's why you see like a lot of mountain-based architecture, like in India, right? It's like carved into the mountain, some of the statues, and it's like, oh, people like stayed here, but it's like, why did they stay here? Probably to like protect themselves from what was going on the outside, you know, because like stone survives the most over time. Even though we think about like metal can rust, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And like
They will-
bricks will disintegrate, but like stone, that's why the pyramids have stood the test of time. Like they think those things are super old, you know, like way older than we think. you know?
Yeah.
And it's still around. So, you know, it makes sense that you would go underground or use like rock to protect yourself. Yeah. Anything else about Elon Musk?
No, it was good. Yeah. It was. I think you should watch the Times interview. It's just a quick thing. Not even
Oh,
that
okay.
long.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
He also did. Wait, no, isn't it an hour?
No, that was the Wall Street.
Oh, Wall Street. Yeah, I saw
That
the
was the week
14-minute Wall Street
earlier.
Journal.
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal interview, and then week after with the Times, they released at the same time a video.
Oh, okay, cool.
With
Oh,
an interview.
interesting. Yeah, all right, I'll check that out after. Okay, let's just jump into the extinction. Actually, no. Let's stick to the tech actually, because I have one more thing related to
Okay.
tech. So I was talking to my cousin about Bitcoin, and I was like, because he's a huge investor in Bitcoin, and I was like, okay, so tell me, do you believe in Bitcoin as a currency, or do you think it's a great way to make money? And he said, I think it can be both. And I'm like, but how can it be both? Because when you sell it, it means that you don't believe in it. So you're getting rid of the money to make more money, like US dollar.
Yeah.
Right? You're
You're
giving
playing
up,
it as a stock, not a.
yeah, right. And then he came to the realization that like you're right, they are they are mutually exclusive. You can't do both at the same time, right? You can't believe in something if you're going to sell it. It means you don't believe in it. And he said that what it really is an asset holding value. And I was like, oh, that's a genius way to put it, because like gold, right? It's an asset that holds value, but we don't use it every day to pay for things, right? Like I can sell gold at like a pawn shop, but I can't use gold to buy my food, you know? So like Bitcoin, just like that, it's like, yeah, you can go to certain places to like relieve yourself of Bitcoin to get cash. But then if that's the case, then it really just comes down to like it's not actually a valid product.
Yeah.
It's just perception. Like it's like the stock market, like you said. Yeah, I think it's like super important to realize, because I hear like so much about, you know, crypto is going to take over the world, and we keep talking about it, right? Crypto is going to take over the world, but it makes no sense to me. And yeah,
It only makes sense if there's transactionability, if you can use it to pay for things.
you can actually. So that was one of their arguments. So somebody came out, like somebody's arguing with me about it, and what they do have now is banks will give you a crypto credit card, so you can buy things with crypto, right? But the caveat is you have to pay for that credit card with cash.
Yeah, so
it makes no sense. Again, it makes no sense.
It doesn't. It's still the same thing. It's just.
I feel like crypto is a way to like it's like a giant social experiment. You know, I feel like a lot of things right now are a giant social experiment. We'll get into that later. But if you really think about like the whole mechanism of crypto, right? It's like nobody really knows what it is. If you really look into it, you could see there's a lot of contradictions. So why is it so valued in the mainstream media? Because of social hype, essentially, right? Like these examples of us like falling into something because we don't really understand how it works, and we're just like told by another who's within our circle that we should do this thing.
Yeah.
You're not driven by data. You're just driven by like heuristics now. You're just driven by like word of mouth guessing. Like if I tell you something like, dude, I hear that crystals will make your chakras balanced. Are you going to believe me? Maybe if you place a lot of value into me as a person. But I think it's important to always look at the data, you know, and like be like, do crystals really balance out what is a chakra? You know what I mean? Like, how does this thing work?
Yeah.
You know? And then the people that don't use that, they like say you're being too sciencey or whatever, you know, they like, yeah. There's always like an out for them.
Yeah.
And well, another great example is, we didn't watch it because I didn't care for it. The Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley fight was last night. I just saw highlights. I was like, oh, I forgot that this was on.
Oh, it was on?
Yeah. See, we don't even care anymore. It's just like, but people were so hyped over it.
Oh, was it?
So Tyron Woodley got KO'd hard.
Is this the rematch fight?
The rematch.
Oh.
Yeah. So he wasn't going to do the rematch, but then the actual opponent, the other opponent pulled out. So Tyron Woodley jumped on like 16 days notice or something like that.
Oh.
And
So is this the rematch? This is like
they weren't going to have the rematch.
Oh, they weren't going to
So he
have
got the
it.
tattoo.
Oh, he got the tattoo.
And then Jake Paul's like, sucks to be you. I'm just kidding. And then he got another person to fight. And then that person he was going to fight pulled out. So then he got Tyron Woodley again. He's like, okay, let's just make the match. So he like lucked down the end. But he got KO'd hard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like Jake Paul KO'd him hard.
Oh, that's
Like,
why
it's a
I've been
meme,
seeing the
though. It's-
memes. Okay.
yeah.
I didn't realize that the
I'm
fight
going to
was
post
yesterday.
it later. Well, what?
I didn't realize the fight was yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't care. I was like, I saw that they were weighing in. I'm like, oh, it must be soon. It must be like tomorrow. But like,
yeah.
I was more interested in
But
watching.
I saw the memes, but I didn't realize that it was from the actual fight yesterday. I thought it was just like some
exactly, yeah.
older fight.
I was more into watching Cub Swanson on the UFC than this fight. Like, I didn't care at all. Yeah. But yeah, so again, it's like, why are we all caring about this? You know, the Jake Paul thing and the crypto thing. And I was thinking about going into it now, but I'm like, you know what? We'll save it. Still save it. Okay. So the next topic is the global extinction. I finished the book. I finished that book, The Sixth Extinction, and what I find really interesting is that we think of our own extinction as being like the most cataclysmic event. It is of our lifetime, right? But like things have died out on this planet so many times before.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dinosaurs, we've had like the ice ages, you know, like
we have multiple. Oh yeah, we have past multiple extinction events to whatever creatures that were there at
Yeah.
the time, all died.
but we don't
Off.
yeah, right? And then we don't think about it as like we don't think about it as like, oh, it's just another step in like the Earth's cycling. We think of ourselves as separate from the Earth. That's why we think of ourselves like, oh no, we're going to die out. But it's like, but if you think of yourself as a part of the Earth, then it's just something that happens over time. Like the dinosaurs, right? Like they were a part of the Earth, but
Right.
nobody's like crying over the dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that. Yeah, but maybe they didn't have the ability to think like that, right? So to survive, to find
the
a way to
dinosaurs?
survive.
Yeah.
So like for us, like didn't they launch recently like the thing to an asteroid? Yeah, I think we talked about it last week.
No, we didn't talk about it last week. Yeah.
Or was it
Covered
week
that,
I don't know when.
No, we never.
We didn't even
brought
talk about
that
it
up.
at all.
You told me about
Oh,
that.
I just told you. Yeah, so it's like we're working towards finding solutions for from asteroids to coming in to kill us all. We're trying to find solutions to stop that from happening. So it's like we're trying to find other doom and gloom stories, right? Like climate change is a different gloom,
Right, yeah,
doom
yeah,
and gloom
yeah.
story,
Yeah.
or doom story. Sorry.
It's interesting that you said climate change, and then you like linked it to the doom story, right? Because that's actually what this book was about. The Sixth Extinction, like there's like ice ages and like meteors that came down, destroyed everything. What she's saying, the author, is that the Sixth Extinction is us. Like I thought it was about our death, but it is about our death. But we are the Sixth Extinction because of the way we've like expanded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're what she's saying is we're looking at externalities that are going to bring our downfall. But the realization is it's us who brought our own downfall.
Yeah, well, we'll see how long, because didn't they live for like, or was
But
it like,
wait, but it's not even about humans though. So in the book, she was showing how human expansion has killed off many species, like the dodo bird,
yeah,
right?
of course.
So it's like if you make humans as like the catalyst for extinction, we are the Sixth Extinction. We are like the ones that brought this on. Like we're not only killing ourselves, we're killing other species.
Yeah.
You know, which is funny when you think about like the thing that's gonna kill the next group of living things is us. Like we don't think of ourselves as like an extinction level event. Do you know what I'm saying?
So you're saying we are the extinction level
Yeah,
event?
we are the trigger. We are the cause of the extinction.
Got you.
Like
Okay,
we are the extinction.
Yeah.
You know, like if you look at us like not as humans, right? Because we're thinking about like expansion. She's like framing it as if we were just a part of Earth, like if we were just another species, and it's like this one species has overtaken the Earth so much that it's causing death for other species and itself. Yeah, but
Right.
then at the end of the book, it was like off-worlding is going to be our main like way to save ourselves. And like,
Yeah.
well, one thing that was also interesting is like climate change. It's not a global extinction event. Like things will die, right? But not mass extinction. Not like the dinosaurs, where all of them were wiped out.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was an asteroid impact, right?
that was
So
like not of this
that
Earth.
was yeah. So like that's why we're focusing on trying to find ways to stop asteroids from.
Because that could be like a massive.
That would
extinction
be
level event.
an extinction event for an outside coming in to kill everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting when you think about like that, because you're like, we really are the virus, like in the Matrix. Remember, like humans are the virus.
Yeah, but I mean, we were created by the Earth too, right? So
Yeah, no, totally, I agree. Yeah.
so maybe our job is to do that. We don't know.
Yeah, totally. But all right, so it's really trippy when you think about, because there's other versions of humans we were talking about, right? Like, so one
types
interesting
of types of
Homo sapien,
Yeah,
Homo
yeah, Homo
erectus, Homo Pherenesis or something. She talked about it.
Okay.
You were saying like the Hobbit people,
Mm-hmm.
so she brought them up.
Okay.
So there was the ape, and then the ape gave birth to these Homo erectus sapien, and I forgot what the last one is. But like, so it's like a tree, right? A tree root and then branch.
Yeah, common ancestor. Yeah.
Yeah, common ancestors. So an interesting point that she said in the book was that 4%, like 4% of our DNA is Neanderthal, because before we became Homo sapiens, like fully, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were mating with those Neanderthals as well, because we were like living in the same time as them. So again, when you think about it like that, it's like, were we the most predominant virus? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it's like from this one ape, which was created by the Earth, developed this one strand that is now taking over not only the Earth but other planets as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you really think about like a virus, it's like that is totally how it works. You know, host to host. You know. Yeah, I just thought that was just like a fascinating take on like what we do as humans.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
I mean, like, sure, I think other creatures do get killed off from us. We do become the top of the food chain, I guess, in a way, right? So,
yeah,
we've found a way to be dominant in all types of environments.
Yeah, totally. And I wonder too if like the trigger for us was because you hear about like the stoned ape theory.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like so just to recap. So, we became Homo sapiens when we started eating mushrooms, but this is because we saw other animals eating bugs from cow patties, like basically manure from like cows. Mm-hmm. But also, what grows in the manure is magic mushrooms. So what they believed is they were just eating these things as a way to like increase visual acuity. So like they have these tests now that if you take mushrooms, your ability to sense a change in an environment is heightened, right? And that would have led to better hunting. So they might have just taken these things as like a way to like become better hunters, but the added effect is, you know, psychological expansion. Like you're thinking more.
Yeah.
Right. So one could say, if you look at like the mushroom as a fungus, which is technically a virus.
I was about to say,
yeah.
Are we leaded by the mushroom?
Dude, think
so
about
we're
that.
not, the
so
virus
is
not us, it's the mushrooms.
Yeah. And then Paul Stamets was talking about that too. He's like, if you look at nature, the primary thing is mushrooms that grows first. Like if something dies out, right? Like if there's like fire.
To repurpose life.
Repurpose life, it's mushrooms.
Yeah.
So like, are we just agents of mushrooms?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like we think of ourselves like I was just describing as like a virus, but is the real virus the mushroom? Because it got into our minds.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a form of like, why would the mushroom have psychedelic things in it, right?
Because it wants you to take more of it. It wants to expand into you.
Yeah, meaning also like to grow more of the same of the mushrooms.
Right. So exactly. Because then we'll want it. We're like, well, look at this benefit we're getting from it.
Yeah.
You know. But then technically, you could say that about everything. Like we live in symbiosis with everything. So it's like maybe meat is also a poison for like a driver to it, right? Maybe there's something in the meat because we're like,
yeah. But with the meat thing though, it didn't make us be, you know what I mean? Like we were already eating meat or something like that.
Yeah,
it's not like
there's no like psychological expansion.
Yeah. There's it's just to survive. It's just to.
Yeah, totally. So, but if you if you take it into that context, because there's other things like there's the main psychedelics, which are like the ancient psychedelics. I'll call them like DMT, acid, mushrooms, marijuana. I think there's one, MDMA. I don't know what that one is, but they all have like natural derivatives. So ergot is acid, so that actually grows naturally as a fungus as well, and it makes you like, it expands your mind as well. And that's what they thought the Salem witch trials were when they were killing all those like witches.
Okay.
It was actually an ergot poisoning within the area.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah. So they thought they were like witches, but they were just tripping on acid, so they were killing them.
Okay.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, that's actually how Rome died too. So Rome, they laced their pipes, their water pipes, with lead.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they didn't know how bad lead was, so they had lead poisoning, and they're all like tripping out, and they just died as well. Like it was like another rampant like civilization killer.
When did we find out about lead? Because we were still using lead.
Yeah, it's weird.
Even here, like there are some older places still have lead.
I think
pipes.
maybe like this is a recent finding. I don't think they were like, oh, lead is killing us. I think they're just like, why did this, like, why was there a downturn in like the population?
Okay.
But anyways, yeah. So yeah, if you think about it like that, like maybe the real virus is like these psychedelics, but these psychedelics are really it's like the snake in the Garden of Eden.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like too much knowledge will push you out of the Garden of Eden. But how did you gain too much knowledge? Like the psychedelics.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the apple. Like if you look at the analogy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually, this is kind of funny because there's a book called The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, and basically what it is when I read that one too, is like it was kind of dry, but whatever. It's about how Christianity is actually a mushroom cult. So the apple is actually a mushroom, but they called it an apple. But like that's why when she eats the apple, she gains like hyper consciousness, and she realizes like, oh, I'm naked. And then she tells Adam, eat the apple too. You'll realize what I realized. And like knowledge is the real killer of everything. But it's like, if that's true, maybe like these psychedelics are like the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it's pushing us to be like, I wonder if I can go to the moon. I wonder if I can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like and put our ideas on overdrive.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's a
Just waxing philosophical.
mutual gain,
Yeah, because it makes us want to create more of it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It makes life more interesting.
yeah, symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Okay, actually, all right, one last thing before we get into the heavy stuff.
Okay.
The Matrix game. What'd you think?
It's not really a game. It was a tech demo.
All right, the Matrix tech demo. What'd you think?
Unreal Engine tech demo. That was cool. It was interesting.
Okay.
It's just really showing off what you can do on a PS5 or a Series X. Like how quickly it's all like triangles, right? I think that's like the new way of
Triangles.
yeah, like the polygons are not like
Oh.
in forms of triangles.
Not circles. Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
Weird.
it's like a new thing. Yeah, where it and it can quickly how you can like adjust settings of day or night very quickly. It's just like
Okay, so really this wasn't a game. It was just like showing off the
It's a tech demo.
ability to like what the environments will like in the future.
And yeah, what you can do with the games.
Oh, that's cool.
With their Unreal Engine.
That's cool. Unreal. Do you remember the game Unreal?
Yeah.
That game was so fun. Like
Yeah.
as it was like,
Super fast paced, I remember.
yeah, it was sort of like Quake, on that level.
Yeah.
It was kind of fantasy, but like, it's good to see that Unreal is still surviving in some capacity.
Yeah, I guess they've moved on to if it's the same thing. Moved on to like because I know they're using like I've heard of Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
So it's like they've been
I'm
focusing
pretty sure
on
it
their.
was from Unreal the game.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the graphics were good in that game too, but like you never thought that they would just shift over to environment
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So they
no, like
it
was cool. It was a cool demo, just like all the things. Like how much you can have in the world, right? Like at once,
okay.
kind of thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't think it's gonna turn into a game, eh?
I mean, I don't want to say never because
Oh,
if you remember the Quantic Dreams tech demo of Kara, then that came into Detroit Become Human.
oh yeah, right.
So it's
yeah,
like
yeah. True. Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's like an old school game that they were doing a tech demo as well, but then I guess it got so much hype
Yeah.
that they turned it into a full on game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Matrix thing is actually pretty interesting when you think about it, because like the Matrix is about online worlds, right? And the tech demo shows off the ability to create these very vibrant online worlds at a rapid pace. You know, and it's like, are we really just creating the Matrix for ourselves? Are we building the metaverse? Is this like an example of where we'll take it in the future?
Well, yeah, I think it
What is the point of a tech demo?
that was
Yeah. But it's just kind of funny that like the tech demo of the Matrix is the exact thing that the movie The Matrix was trying to warn you about. You know, it's like you're going to build these online worlds that are indistinguishable from reality. That was like the premise of the movie, right? And then the game, it's like tongue in cheek, you know? It's like, it's kind of ironic that they're showing off, like, look at our new technology that could build an entire world.
Yeah.
But it's like, but you warned us against this.
Yeah, but it's all in the form of entertainment anyways. So.
True, until it's not though. Like, and then we go to the metaverse and we see like this,
It's bound to happen. There's no way to stop this.
or just like not join it.
Yeah, but who's?
Yeah, but if everyone's doing it, I guess we all gotta do it.
Yeah.
All right, that's a perfect segue. Here we go. All right, we're jumping in. Okay. So, if you just run some quick mathematics. Okay. All right, let me start by saying that I think we both agree that getting an mRNA shot is super important, right? It really curbs not having the shot, right? Like the death toll. Totally.
Okay.
It is super important to get the shot. The contention I have that's coming up is boosters.
Okay.
So now I'm like, why do we need 3? This is not about hating needles. Like, I had to suck it up because the data showed me, okay, it's way better to get the shot than not get the shot for yourself and loved ones, right? That was the marketing. Turns out that you can actually still pass it on even if you have the shot. So it's not really about loved ones, it's about yourself. So about protecting yourself. So if you feel so inclined to protect yourself, go get the shot. Me getting the shot will actually not save you because we can still transmit it even though we are vaccinated. That's commonly held now.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the same rate as someone who's unvaxxed. I believe that's also
Maybe.
out there too.
Okay, so...
Because that's what I've heard
Well, all right,
multiple
sure.
times on the radio. Where
Okay,
they're,
so what is the percentage then?
I don't know the exact
All
percentage.
right, so let's just say...
But again, maybe let's just say it's a smaller percentage. It's still less, right?
Okay, but like...
That's all I'm trying to say, I guess.
Totally. So saying less is important, but it's also a matter of framing, right? So when I had this contention over not being interested in a booster, I was presented with data from a medically researched like body. I forgot what it was. It's like PubMed. It was like super up there, right? And then this person, I won't say who the person was trying to convince me like, oh, see, look, the abstract says. So the abstract, if you don't know what an abstract is, it's basically a summary of what the whole report is about. So the abstract said that boosters have shown to lower your risk of hospitalization and death. Totally valid, right? It was a sentence. So my next question was, what were the numbers? How many people died? And then, so of the people who died, this is double dose, mRNA people.
Yeah.
All right. For Omicron. So double dose against Omicron, 44 people died as compared to 29 people who had triple dose. So, okay, that makes sense. Sure, there is definitely a disparity there. But then what is the overall sample size? 700,000. So I'm like, okay, so I'm worried about 44 divided by 700,000 for dying if I have 2 shots versus 29 divided by 700,000 for 3 shots. The kill rate at 2 shots is 0.001%. 0.00006%. That's 4 zeros under the zero. That's basically zero.
Yeah.
So why am I worried?
Mm-hmm.
And then with what's going on in Ontario right now, it's like, okay, we've shifted to half capacity. I totally get it. Case numbers high, whatever, do whatever you want. But then the thing I saw this morning was considering saying that fully vaccinated status is 3 shots instead of 2. And if we go in that direction, I just don't see the point.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I would need to read what they exactly are talking about.
Because unless they do like fully vaccinated and partially vaccinated, like, okay, both people can enter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If they do it like that, totally fine.
Yeah, that's what I
fine.
wanted to read. Like, what are they exactly saying? And maybe they're just only discussing it, as in like they're redefining it. But what does that really mean?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know more about.
The only thing that would make me get this is literally if they say only fully vaccinated people can enter facilities, and fully vaccinated is 3 shots.
Mm-hmm.
I would you're forcing my hand.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
do
yeah.
anything. I can't go to the movies. Can't go to jiu-jitsu.
Right.
But understand that it's a 0.00006% kill rate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with those odds.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to say to me like, oh, you're going to protect others by getting it, it's like, that's not true, because we've already found that it can still transmit
Mm-hmm.
even if we're vaccinated. So what are we talking about here, guys? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That to me has made me extremely salty and made me think like, again, we're like herd mentality. Like what it's like the Bitcoin thing, the crypto, it's like the Jake Paul thing. It's like we are such a herd animal species that I don't know what's going on anymore. Like I feel like we're so crazy, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you just? Oh, actually, let me put one more stat out there. So then I said to this person who gave me the medical thing, like, do you know the vaccine injury rate? And this person was like, what's a vaccine injury? I'm like, yeah, you see, you didn't even look into that. So I went on the government website, okay, and I'm going to pull up the number because I saved it on my phone. Okay, so the vaccine injury rate, the serious injury rate, I don't have the like total numbers, but I took the percentage. It's 0.011%. 0.011 as compared to, so that's serious vaccine injury, meaning that it'll last forever. Serious.
Yeah.
0.011.
Yeah, I want to add caveats into that, but
Okay. But even if you give a caveat, right? The death rate is 0.00006%. That's
Wait, from COVID.
From COVID.
We're talking about from
Omicron
fully
2
vaccinated
shots.
people.
No, not well. If we
Okay, from 2 shots.
2 shots, no booster, 0.00006%.
Okay.
Vaccine injury is 0.001%.
Okay.
Meaning that it's more likely. If we're using abstracts, I can write in a paper saying that it's more likely to get injured from the shot than it is to die from COVID.
No. That's
not?
incorrect terminology
I'm
there.
using the exact same things.
No. You're saying to die from the shot.
No, I didn't say die. Serious
Sorry.
injury.
Okay. Sorry. To get serious injury from a shot
Is more likely.
and more likely to. So you're saying more likely than from dying from
having 2
a person
shots.
who is 2-shotted with COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I can use.
I'm just trying to, because then it's
clarify.
like, what was the rate of death
Totally.
without being vaccinated?
But if we're using abstracts, just like the beginning of that thing, without looking at the numbers, I'm technically correct.
Mm-hmm.
So which is
No. I just wanted to clarify so people understand that.
Totally. So like, what's our talking point? What's our talking point in the media?
Mm-hmm.
How come that's not being said? How come it's boost up? Did you see the podium? Boost up?
I didn't see the bottom.
Oh, okay. So like they have a podium now. Like, you know, when they do the talk,
Yeah.
the podium says boost up.
Okay.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's why
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying it's propaganda. Because
Right.
I'm like, you're not.
I feel like
playing even.
I
We're
agree
not
with that.
playing even.
I understand what you're saying. But we've already been.
Double.
We already had
No, because
2, right?
because I agree. I'm only following.
So
data.
do you think with the third we're going to get the same vaccine injury?
Yeah, because you're increasing the likelihood. Because you're.
No, because we already got the first. You would show up from the first shot.
Oh, this is just total.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would show up within the first shot.
Okay.
We've had 2 shots.
So okay,
That's what I'm saying.
So
I don't
then a third one will,
wouldn't cause any vaccine injury because you've had the shot already.
no, but they don't know because each time it's a new time. So like just because you've had the first shot, you can still get hurt in the second one and the third one because we don't actually know.
No, because it's the same thing. What you're getting is from the what you're getting is the same
but we don't know.
same thing, right?
Totally, but we don't know what is going to happen if you increase these
No,
doses.
but you're adding that you don't know.
No, I know.
Right. So
Yeah,
we've already got
I'm
the
just-
shots,
right,
but we
totally. I'm
didn't
just going
fit
with the numbers.
we didn't get the vaccine injury,
Right. Okay. But what I'm
so it
saying.
won't apply then
No, what do you mean? It won't apply?
because we've had 2 shots
But
from
we
the
also
same
don't know.
product.
We totally. Okay. So. Okay.
It would have showed up in the first shot,
We
right?
can't even talk about that. We can't talk about that because that's a maybe. That's an I don't know. Just like I can't say if I get COVID, I might be in the 0.006%. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So like I'm leaving all that out. I'm only strictly looking at the numbers we have.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not speculating
Sure.
into the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like modeling.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
already shown that modeling is completely wrong. Like they gave themselves a huge gap. So they said 4,000 to 30,000 deaths.
Yeah.
Or 400,000 deaths.
When was this? What? I don't know which modeling
The
this
very
is.
beginning. The very beginning.
Yeah. So that's probably like early on,
Totally,
right?
but-
Without really knowing too much.
Totally. But all I'm saying, modeling, forecasting, we're going to throw that out the window. We're not going to speculate on the future. I'm just looking at strict numbers that we have in front of us right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the only statement is my statement, which is if you have a more likely chance of getting vaccine injured than you do of dying from COVID with 2 shots
Okay.
and Omicron.
Well, we're talking about. Yeah, okay. Sure. All right.
I'm
From
being-
that's from
I'm being-
Omicron, or that's from
that's
just
from
COVID?
No, this was an Omicron study.
So you're comparing it to Omicron does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the fear is Omicron. That's all I hear on the media.
Yeah.
Omicron,
This is the new thing.
51% is
Yeah.
now the Omicron. Like, okay,
Mhm.
but it's a 0.0006% death rate if I have 2 shots.
Mhm.
So why push in the booster? All I'm saying is let's just look at it logically. I'm not. It's
Yeah, so
again,
there's
it's
more
all
to look
data,
at
just all data.
in a study. There's a lot of ways to look at the study too, right? So, how many?
And I've known
First of all, where was the study done? Right. What kind of?
No, but
first shot, second shot?
For sure. We won't even go to that.
I have so many more
No,
questions.
because
But that's within this.
that'll just prove my point more. But I don't want to do that. I want to just keep it like I'm going to give you the best case scenario. Let's say of the 0.0006%, no comorbidities, they're elite athletes.
No, I'm not saying like that.
No, I'm saying like I'm giving you the best benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And the numbers still don't sway in your favor
Mm-hmm.
in the least.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even like a 1% kill rate. We're talking 0.00006, 406.
Right.
That's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And why are we panicking?
Mm-hmm.
That's no different than being like, oh, watch out for people.
So
who are-"
I guess you will probably more agree with than just having like certain restrictions in the lockdown or having capacity limits
Yeah, do that.
to reduce the spread versus not like changing the vaccine status thing.
Yeah, don't change the vaccine. And you
Mm-hmm.
know why? Another point is you showed me that video with the World Health Organization.
Yeah,
person.
WHO, yeah.
World Health Organization. That
Mm.
guy was saying that why would you waste? Let's not say waste. Why would you use supply on nations that are most likely going to survive and they're already partially inoculated? Why don't you use your surplus, aka the boosters, in nations where they cannot get anything?
Mm-hmm.
My cousin in the Philippines has never even seen an mRNA vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Actually, did one? One did. I think one had Moderna,
Right, they're limited, right?
but it's a
So-
limited supply, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like my cousin got a booster of AstraZeneca. He had 2 Chinese vax and a booster of AstraZeneca.
Based on what?
Force.
No, I get it, But it's like,
economics.
well, I know. No, I understand that.
And that's not even.
But nobody's talking about the other shots.
And that's not
We're all
even-
talking about mRNA.
Yeah, totally. And that's not even recognized as a valid. The Chinese vax is not even recognized as a valid vaccine to cross countries.
That's right, yeah.
So why aren't we using these boosters on other places where they've developed? Because where did Omicron develop? South Africa, right? Let's just say it did. That's like the supposed.
Supposed.
Not in a Western nation where we have access to vaccines.
Where it wasn't.
No, it wasn't in a Western nation where these variants derived.
We don't know that actually.
Oh, really? You think it?
There's confusion on where it exactly started. It could have been South Africa. Could have been because there was.
Was it a Western nation? Yes or no?
Yeah, the earlier reports, even though the first report or of them announcing Omicron came from South Africa, but there were some tests done. Was it in Denmark? It was one of those.
Okay, so Denmark,
but they had like
but they had gone to, like,
they
other
had a
places,
case
right?
that was predating the case of someone from South Africa.
But did they travel or something like that? Like, did they bring it in? Is what I'm saying.
So they don't know if it's.
So you're saying that it could have.
No, it's not from a person who went to South Africa. I think it was.
So it mutated.
I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, I don't even know. Don't quote me on anything. It's just,
Okay.
These are there's question on where it may have started.
Okay, but
That's all
right now
there
the
is.
assumption, the one that I'm hearing is
South Africa.
Okay, so if we're just going by data, again, it's not a Western nation. What like the World Health Organization person was talking about vaccine hoarding. So we're kind of seeing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this, I literally
Rich nations and poor nations. Yeah.
right, and I literally in the beginning of this whole, pandemic, you can go back to my article on the website. I really believed that this was going to bring us all together. I wrote a whole article about how it was like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. This one virus is going to pull us all together and then show us that our humanity.
It did.
It did
for such a short
second,
amount of time.
right? And that's why I believed it. And then boom, look at us now. Now we're vaccine hoarding.
Yeah.
We're going off of like no data. Like, is one thing. Again,
Well, it's no data.
I'm a data-driven person.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
if you
yeah,
could
yeah.
prove to me why I should get this, I will get it.
No, it's incorrect to say with no data. That's a data, right?
Wait,
The test you studied.
No, I said I'm a data-driven person.
No, before that. Like they're making decisions without data.
No, like not looking at the data objectively.
Oh, not looking at the data.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. No, they have data. Of course they have data.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that they're not using the data. It's like you're not driving your decision making based on data. You're using emotion. You're using not mathematics. You're using pure emotion.
I don't know if I can say pure emotion.
Why?
Because you
So
read
you're saying
did you
that
read
the
the
numbers-
abstract line?
did
It
you
said
see-
that it still helped people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like,
That's what I'm
wait,
saying.
what? No.
It's
Yeah,
still-
no, but that's an emotional line.
No.
That's an emotional
That
line.
is no. It's not an emotional line. It's a fact line.
No, an abstract is written. No, wait, no.
The fact line of.
No, hold on, wait. I'm saying look at the numbers. Don't look at the sentence. The sentence is when you turn the
No,
number
I understand
into
that, but the
subjection.
sentence is about correct information of the data, right?
Yeah, but it's framed. Framing is subjectivity.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's talking about the data, right?
It is. You're right, but I'm saying base everything, like all of your.
I think was it an emotional statement to say that less people died from third doses than second dose?
Yeah, because once you framed it, you like
No.
you put
But
your mind into it.
but the fact is true, right?
Yeah, but relative to what? Oh, I see what you're saying. Like you could just data is just data. It's all about how you interpret the data. Mm-hmm. So
But it's still the fact was
no, I see, I get what you're
less
saying, I get
people
what you're saying.
died
So like if
from
you,
3 doses than
So what I'm
2
saying,
doses.
what I'm saying is that if you just look at the data, but it's like, but what are you pulling from the data? Is what you're saying. So anything you pull from data will be subjective. But if you're just talking about data itself, data has no subjectivity because it's just numbers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
That's
then whatever
specific.
sentence you pull from that will become
Yeah,
your subjective bias.
yeah.
Just like technically my subjective bias is these numbers don't add up.
But they add up, right?
But
You
they
get
do
what I'm
add up,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
It depends on your marketing.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like is 0.0016 versus 0.00 whatever the other one was,
Yeah.
lesser number, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Which is the greater of two evils.
yeah, but they're technically zero.
But they're both technically
technically
correct.
zero, right? But it's still correct to say
Yeah.
that less people die from 3 doses than 2 doses. Still correct to say.
So then could you technically say then that COVID is then you could technically say this. So COVID is affecting our lives by shutting everything down at a
Yeah.
50% capacity,
Mm-hmm.
whereas COVID on a physiological level has basically a 0% 0% influence on our health if you have at least 2 shots. So COVID psychologically is affecting us and the way we run our society more so than COVID is affecting us physiologically, because
Yeah, that is an argument that's
That
being
is an
said.
argument,
Yeah,
yeah.
that is an argument. That the people have been talking about that. That
really?
Yeah, of course.
oh cool, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I was just
yeah,
making
yeah.
that up right there.
Yeah, no, it's a logical thing to think that
Yeah.
people being locked at homes
Is way worse
is
than
probably, it might be even more worse than living with COVID. I don't know.
yeah, because
Yeah.
we've seen that if you have 2 shots, we're
Like, I
basically
think, didn't
out
I
of this
say
thing.
where there was it? I think I said like a while back. I think their suicide numbers were higher than their COVID numbers
I know,
in
that's
Japan.
Crazy, bro. I know.
Right?
Yeah,
So that's a
crazy.
mental.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's another issue.
Yeah,
That's a
because
whole other
you're
issue.
like, you're separating us now. It's like
We're social creatures. You're
totally, yeah.
affecting.
And we have objectives, right?
Yeah.
So like, for example, I heard this person at jiu-jitsu. So they were like, we were like training, and then grading had just passed. We're like, I'm at like 4 stripes. I think so is she. And she was saying like, oh, now we're going to go into another lockdown. Like, oh, it's going to push back my journey even more. And I was like, boom, psychological like,
impact. Yeah.
Yeah, psychological impact.
Yeah.
Like quite measurably, because she's like, her anecdotal evidence is like, oh no, it's going to blah, 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 blah. But the physiological rate of impact is 0 because she's had 2 shots. So how come this thing with a 0 physiological impact is having such a drastic impact on our psychological well-being? It's a big question.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that. That is the question. I think a lot of the times what they're looking at is to not overfill the hospitals.
Okay.
By not trying to overfill the hospitals.
Great point. All right, I'm glad you brought this up. Okay, so I have that statistic as well. So people who have 2 doses against the Omicron, 219 out of 700,000 visited the hospital. And you can actually, I won't even get into this. Let's just say that they were on ventilators. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, because when you say visited the hospital, they count it as if you're like, if you go and you're like, do I have COVID? Oh, okay, I get tested. Oh, do you think I should do anything? But
Wait, specifically in this study?
This study, yeah, 219
They said that in this study.
in this study, yeah,
Okay.
for Omicron.
Visited hospital.
Visited
Okay.
hospitals, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, visited hospital is too vague.
It is, but I'm going to say like of those 219, I'm going to say they were the worst case scenario. I'm going to give you again the benefit of the doubt. That's still that's like less than 0. That's less than the vaccine injury. 219 divided by 700,000. And the difference between the second shot and the third shot is 219. So you went from 119. So you went from 290. So you like saved 100 people. We're splitting hairs now. So we're talking about, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay.
Sure, yeah.
0.00.
I understand that that's one study. I get that. I understand that. That's specifically about Omicron, right? We still have other ones that
Delta,
are here,
sure,
right?
But
Yeah.
wasn't the 2 doses supposed to protect you against Delta?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm saying, anyways, what I'm talking about is, are they?
I'm
They're
bringing up Omicron now because that's what's in the news, right? Everyone's like, that's the reason why we're shutting down.
Yep.
Because 51% of the cases are Omicron now.
Yeah.
51. It's quite measurable. Like that's like
Very quickly, it's
very
gone
quickly.
up. Yeah. It is,
So-
but we know that it's more transmissible.
Yeah. So okay, it's more transmissible, but
But it's not.
as deadly.
Yeah. So someone from the UK's health thing said that it's not acting the same way as other COVIDs.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It's
yeah. The way it's
it
attacking
seems to
isn't
be
correct.
like a cold symptoms.
Oh yeah. Okay. So even the
and it's not
severity-
even like you're coughing.
Okay, so here's the other crazy part. The severity isn't even bad.
There's early reports, yeah.
So the symptoms, you don't lose taste and smell. You apparently you're not coughing. That's what you said. I heard that it's just a headache and myalgia, which is like muscle soreness.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Bro, I've had headaches before. I've had muscle soreness. Even if it's like the worst headache, muscle soreness. Remember when I was super sick? You know, I was like having like really bad stomach issues, and I was like woke up in the middle of the night like shivering. And that was pretty bad. But like was that COVID? We don't know. You know, I was like I thought it was just because I was like dehydrated, but you know, it's not the worst thing. I've had the flu before. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants the flu,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a part of life.
Right.
You're like if I got the flu, what are my parents gonna say? I got the flu, chill. Just drink some tea, watch a movie,
Yeah,
don't do
yeah.
anything today.
Yeah.
So why are we saying that about COVID? Yeah, why isn't anyone going, oh, you got COVID? All right, just chill, just drink
Well,
some
technically
tea.
they are.
What do you mean? No, but it's different, right? It's different. It's like taboo now. Like it's all over the media and like go get your booster, blah blah blah. You know, it's like the severity of which we're reacting to it
Yeah.
is not the same as the flu.
Yeah.
But but we've seen this in history before, like alcohol prohibition, marijuana legalization.
Like this,
Booster, like what?
yeah, the virus is turning into a flu, and that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. So
That's kind of what all viruses generally do. They
so
have
why
to.
are we freaking out, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're
Like,
freaking out because,
because they're told to freak out.
well, when it was early, it was just, it was out of reaction. It's like why they
Which
shut down,
Omicron
why they
or
shut
which
down.
the
Yeah, for us,
COVID?
like why we shut down, and other countries too, why would they shut down travel from South Africa? But then we already have Omicron here. There's no point in
it's
shutting
very
down.
Reactive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows you how reactive humans are.
Yeah, where actually someone was saying this on the radio too. It's like by them announcing that there's a new variant and all of a sudden shutting all flights from South Africa, that incentivizes people not to bring up new variants.
What do you mean? Oh yeah.
So other
true.
countries,
That's
I don't want to
true.
bring up this variant.
Yeah, because then I lose all my
because
tourism.
then tourism flights, whatever the fact may be. So it's like then it intensifies or incentivizes people not to reveal.
That's a very valid point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so taking all this into consideration and then reading the Sixth Extinction, it's like, yeah, we are clearly creating our own demise.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we freaking ourselves out over nothing? You know what I mean? And then again, all right, so people are like, oh, it's just a shot. You're just afraid. Oh, the shot is 0.11%, right? Whatever. But then it's like, the thing.
Like, it's true. With a third shot, it's like Israel was doing third shots before Omicron even existed.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So they're just pushing a reasoning to get a third shot, right?
Yeah,
Which
totally.
is odd timing.
Very odd timing, yeah. But so we won't even get into conspiracies. Just look at the numbers. Makes no sense. But okay, so people are like, "Oh, I think the reason why I'm so salty about this is like people are like, "Oh, why are you so afraid? You're just afraid of needles." You know, you're being my mom. You're being a drama king.
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is, then I have no choice to do anything. Like you've literally taken my choice away.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is even the point of living? No, like actually, what is the point of living? You know, because if at the end of the day, I know I said this in the beginning, it's like they're just showing you that you have no real power because we were all forced to get 2 shots, right? But at least in that one, there was data to support it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they force something for a third and there's no data to support it, it's just blatant now. It's like, why are you even living?
Right.
Like there's nothing you choose will matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like at the end of the day, they could just do whatever they want.
Right.
Even if the data is not in favor of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And do you know when else in history we had this happen? Nazi Germany.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, they're killing Jews over there. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's not over here yet. And why did World War II start? Because...
Wait, did they even know that?
Oh, really? They didn't even know that?
No.
Oh. No, there were whisperings.
Whisperings, but doesn't mean they had any data on it.
Okay, sure. But like, you heard that bad things were happening, right? It's like, no, you know what? Let's delete that. You know, like obedience to authority. You know where that came up? Like that psychological term, obedience to authority. That came up. That psychological term came up because of Nazi Germany. They wanted to explain why were people actively killing Jews, like in those concentration camps, even though they knew that it was the wrong thing to do. And what they said was, I was just following orders. So they said obedience to authority. If we're all just following orders with the Like the data doesn't present it. We're all getting a third shot. We're just following orders. What are we as a human species? Have we not learned from history? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Well, we're bound to repeat history.
totally, but it just shows you how like flawed we are as a species, and then it makes you question everything at that point. How can I trust you on anything? Like, imagine the amount of dissent that they're building. Like, I'm not even a conspiracy theorist. So how many conspiracy theorists are you like really building off of this thing? That's the huge danger too. Again, data driven, not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think that there's a crazy like scheme going on to control the world. I really do think it is just like incompetence, like that doctor on Joe Rogan said. But if this is what I believe as trying to be as measured as possible, what are people who are not measured as possible believe? You know?
Yeah.
There's people like bomb the government. Then like I see your point. Like like I could see how that would spiral in the wrong direction. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah, we'll see how Doug Ford's election goes. If
He's gonna lose.
if people
that.
agree or lose, or people
I
agree
saw-
with him or
I saw
not
this
agree.
thing. I saw this thing on. I think it was like. It wasn't. I forgot what. It was like a Ontario thing, like social media, and they said that although Ontarians are in favor of a lockdown if it helps stop the spread, at the same time Ontarians are getting tired of
Yeah.
the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, we like this. The support for COVID is
It's yeah, like yeah,
People
might
are
as
like,
well.
I don't even.
We need to live with this thing.
Yeah, and
At this
I
point.
really think, honestly, I really think that more measured people, if you just look at the data, it's like, why are we being forced to do this thing? Again, I totally think you should get the vaccine, the two. It's just the problem I have is the booster. It's like, this makes no sense now. Just go use it somewhere else. If you were presented, like if you had like one shot, right? Let's say you're in a room, okay, and there was one shot left. You know you had two doses, the other person zero. But they're like, there's COVID like outside this door. I would give that shot to the other person. Like, hey man, I have two. My chance of dying are 0.0006%.
Right.
You take it. I'll walk outside the door. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if we were presented like that, but that's not how the presentation is. The presentation is fear, 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 fear monger. And I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially as a marketer, because I hate marketing, but I do marketing. Because you see the tricks. You see the tricks even, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any foul thoughts on this topic before I shift to like our last topic, which is much more happy? Because we always gotta do that.
Yeah. No, I think.
Do you agree? Do you disagree?
No, I agree. I understand that totally. That's why it's like. I mean, I agree with WHO, with what they're saying.
Yeah,
I think that
but that's
they're not.
But what I said about the room is the WHO thing. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you guys. Like,
Let's focus on.
I'm sure I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah, if you want to do the third shots, focus on people who have other issues that they
Yeah.
need to get
Like-
a third shot. Yeah.
Like my mom, sister, and dad, they're all planning to get the third shot. Well, my sister already got it. My mom and dad are December 29th. And they've been pressuring me, and I'm like, no. But they all have like issues. So I'm like, okay, all three of you have like health issues.
or they work with COVID patients.
Or
Right?
yeah, they're nurses. Yeah,
Which
nurses
is
too.
also on the list of who should be getting it.
Yeah. So like, dude, totally. Yeah, you guys definitely get it. I'm cool with that. But like, I'm not in any high risk group. I think I have the right to make a decision. You know. And I'm not knocking anybody that wants to get it. Like, if you want to get a booster, get a booster. It's like,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. Does
All I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I think you should have the choice at this point. You know, like with a 0.00006% death rate of two shots against Omicron, you have free choice. Do whatever you want. I don't care at that point. But when it was much higher, like with if you don't have the shot, like no, I think you should get the shot. Like I think you should get the first two shots.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
protect yourself. Just like whatever. It's like the HPV vaccine, the hepatitis B. We all got them, you know. But like, there's a reason why I don't get flu shots, because I don't see the point. I'll just take the flu. It's fine. There's a reason why I won't get this booster shot unless they force it upon me, because it's like I'm fine. I'm sure I'm fine.
Right.
you know. And then the people that get the booster who don't get flu shots, that's also hypocritical to me. It's like, why don't you just protect yourself against everything then? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the flu has a higher kill rate than COVID at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually true, though. That's actually a true statement. The flu is like, what is it, like 1%?
You mean the past flu or
like the flu that we...
before?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Is higher than
Yeah,
0.0001,
Right. Yeah.
right? That's why they were pushing
I don't know.
flu shots
I don't know
every
the
year.
number, but I think I've heard that. Yeah. Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know the number.
Okay, yeah, but it's definitely higher than 0.00006 or whatever, right? Yeah. All right. So, all right. That all being said, happiest point of this conversation, Witcher. We were both watching it last night separately. I realized that you were watching the same episode as me. I was like, oh, we should watch it together. But then I was like, I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna go to bed soon. But what do you think? First impressions. That's what this podcast will be titled. Witcher First Impressions.
Okay, it's at the end.
so if you listen to it, you're like, when are they going to talk about The Witcher? What? Well, I just listened to talk about COVID. Like, what?
You should break down times.
No. It's funnier. Yeah, no, I could do that. Yeah, but it's just
More
funnier.
work.
It is more work too, but it's just funnier because then you're like waiting for it, you know. Then you find out it's like the last stop. You're like, oh man, all right.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, exactly.
This is really good.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's really good.
It's really good.
It's amazing. All right. I thought it was like a video game. Like they did so well with it.
No, because I remember everything from the video game. It's like, I think it was in the first episode already, like how he calmed down his horse, like using the axe, and it's like, it's
okay,
all these things. So I played all the
game.
games, so I was like seeing all those things now
That they put
like it's like, but you're also getting it from her perspective because in the game you're playing as Witcher, so you're seeing the whatever incantation you're doing, right? You're seeing that, but then you get it from Ciri's perspective. What just happened?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, that's cool.
When he took the potion and then he spoilers, whatever. Remember he like took the potion and then he went into that like Witcher mode, which is like in the game, you can go into like a Super Saiyan mode. And then she was like confused, you know, like what? And then he was at the campfire and then he had to wait for the Witcher potion to go down, just like in the game, right? Like it wears off over time.
Yeah.
Such a good show. But even from the perspective of it just being a show, it's still a good show.
It's good, yeah.
You know, like not linking it to the game, like it really feels like a world. Like when I was watching it, I was like, you've put me in a world, you know?
Yeah.
And not many shows will do that. Not many, you know, like, not many creations are that good that it makes you feel like a living. Dune did that, you know?
Yeah.
But Dune is like just one movie. Witcher's like a series of episodes.
Yeah.
So it's like you get to live in that world for a while.
Yeah, it's like each episode's an hour, right? And it's like 10
great.
episodes. So
So good. I hope it doesn't suck later on though. That would kind of like where did you
so
end
far?
off? I got like halfway through episode 2.
I think I finished episode 2.
Okay.
I think I'm on episode 3, but I gotta check. I don't remember.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know. Everything at the moment I've liked so far. What's happening, and I don't know this part of the story because in the game I played, which is Witcher 3, which is she's already
Ciri?
Yeah, sorry, Ciri is already a Witcher, right? So here is
cool. Her backstory.
Yeah, the backstory there, and then Witcher or Geralt.
Yeah.
Like that talk between him and Vesemir, like just is it like does she know or does she want to be a Witcher? Like these are the choice decisions that he's got because once you're a Witcher, you're not going back. Right?
Yeah. Wasn't it his friend though, not Vesemir?
I don't know which one he talked to, but I thought it was Vesemir.
Oh, okay. Maybe like later on, but in the when they're playing the drinking game.
Yeah.
Where you have to throw like the sword at the picture.
No, not him.
Oh, okay. No, but he said it there.
He said it. He said it to him.
Yeah, he's like, you know that if.
Oh yeah.
Remember, he's like, you know, if you become a Witcher, does she want that?
Right,
blah,
right,
blah.
right.
She could die in the process of becoming a Witcher.
Yeah, I'm confusing that with then meeting Vesemir later.
Vesemir is pissed. He's like, why did you?
Why did you?
I told you this was gonna happen.
Yeah, and you said you were never gonna.
Yeah. He's like, but you
use
brought her
that
anyway.
and then he's
like, yeah, I did. Yeah, the world with the Witchers, like how when they went to the hideout and then they were all hanging out and stuff, and like they had all those people come up and they had a party. I was like, oh, you are like, when we think of Witcher, we think of like the one character, right?
Yeah.
You think of like Geralt, but you're like, no, he's a part of a crew
clan.
of them.
Yeah.
And then you realize like, oh, this is a team, or like you're not special. Geralt's not actually special, you know, but like,
Right.
we look at him as like the main character.
Who was the Beast character? I think it
I don't
was.
remember.
I think I know him, but we know him with a beard.
That one thing where they're playing the sword thing made me think of like mini games. Mary's like, let's play a drinking game, and I was like, oh, is this like a side mission quest?
Right. Yeah.
You're researching.
Yeah. So I think if it's correct, actually, I don't know if he's the one.
The actor?
Yeah. Who?
Okay.
You know, the Beast character.
Yeah. Who do you think he is?
I thought he was from. From Game of Thrones.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Tormund?
about. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Is it him?
I don't think so.
Oh, it is.
It is? Damn, you're really good.
Nevelin. What was his name? I don't know,
I don't know.
the Beast's name. Nevelin or something. Yeah, he was in it.
This is how you know you watch so many shows. Like, you just see all these characters in like different
I
series.
heard his
and stuff.
voice. His voice was there, but I never seen him without the beard, right?
You know what's funny? This is just like Free Guy. Remember when you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I heard The Rock and
Hugh Jackman's.
and I was like, what are you talking about? And then you played me the scene, and I still couldn't hear their voices. And then you Googled it, and it's like, it was them. I was like, whoa, dude, you know actors really well. You know? Like, you're like, that's so iconic, their voice. I'm like, I did not catch that at all. Like, even this guy, like, only when you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, it is that guy. But anyways, yeah, Witcher, amazing.
Because they have, I don't know, for me, it's easy to, specific voices, they have a tell, I don't know.
But I feel like
for
you just
me-
watch so much. Like, you like watch a lot of like shows and episodes and movies and stuff. So like, you really.
Yeah, but it's also because they were in shows I liked, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
it's,
what I mean,
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah,
Game of
totally.
Thrones.
Yeah,
And I
totally,
like this
yeah.
character, and it's like.
But like, they're all within the same circle, right?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Game of Thrones is just like, because usually actors just get selected because of previous roles, right? That are like, oh, you're just like this guy. That's why you can get typecast, right? And that's why like certain actors try and break out of being typecast. Speaking of which, Daniel Radcliffe in that, you didn't watch it yet,
Yeah, I'm watching it.
but like,
Oh, the Escape movie?
yeah, and you're like, oh, I might watch this one, and I'm like, I don't know. He will always be Harry Potter to me. Like, you can't break out of the
I
role.
think I've seen other movies that he's been in, yeah. I try not to.
No, but the thing is, you have to be so good in that new movie that it makes you forget about your old movies. Like Emma Watson, she's not Hermione to me anymore because she's played like Perks of Being a Wallflower and like all that stuff. And she's like a UN personality or something. She like goes to the UN and does talks. So like, you've kind of broken out of that mold, you know. But I don't know, Daniel Radcliffe to me always feels like Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's a pivotal role for his life, right? These are things we grew up with. So
Yeah. And who's that other guy? Rupert.
Yeah. I don't know his last name.
Yeah, him as well.
Yeah, I
That
know.
guy's- that guy's not gonna
He's on the
break out.
show now. I think he's on.
Actually,
on
if
the
you're on
Apple
a show,
TV show.
if you're on a show, you might break out of that role because you repetition over time,
Yeah.
right? So like, if I keep seeing you as a different character, I'm going to start to think of you as a different character. But I feel like Daniel Radcliffe hasn't made that many transitional characters that really stand out to me. That I'm like, I don't think of you as Harry Potter anymore.
And then now they're gonna be doing that whole Harry Potter reunion again. So they'll all bring
Isn't
it.
it already out? Is it or no? I
I
saw
don't-
like some pictures of it.
I don't think so.
I don't really care about Harry Potter, so like,
Yeah.
you and Tara
No.
both really like that. So I was
No.
like,
For
alright.
me, it's more interesting. Like, is J.K. Rowling being invited or not because of her recent
Oh, yeah, yeah.
controversies?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. What do you do about that too? Actually, like with her. Oh, 'cause that's a tough one because like she's old, so you grew up in a time where this wasn't a reality, right? But now through technology, we're able to catch up and genetically change things, right? And she's really against that. So it's
It's
like,
not that she's against that. It's the I've read some of her tweets. It's just like the definition of woman. What does it mean, right?
Yeah, no,
Because that is
right.
defining. That's
But-
changing now, right?
But that's like that's a her time kind of thing.
No, she's not against transgenders.
Okay.
It's what it's like the definition is changing. Where a transgender person can't, well, at the moment, can't have babies, right? So it's like
Oh yeah.
the definition of woman here is what?
Oh, dude, that it's really interesting. This person in the UFC, Amanda Nunez, lost to Jessica. No, I forgot her name. Whatever. So she lost to this person, and that person was a mom. And then they're like, "Oh, how do you feel about being like two moms who like fought for the UFC championship and they got passed down, right? Because like Amanda Nunez is a mom, but she didn't give birth to her kid, like because she's a lesbian, so they
Gotcha.
in vitro or something. So, so that mom was like, "Well, I gave birth to my kid, so I feel like I'm more of a mom than she is." I was like,
Ooh, these are
I don't know about all that. Like sticky lines, bro.
Yeah,
It's like, well, no, nobody pointed that out. But when I heard that in the post fight, I was like, that'll be interesting.
yeah.
Like later on, yeah. Because we are dealing with different times. Like technology is really, honestly, it's really technology. If you really though, we didn't have this ability before, like to change anything.
Yeah, it's not physically change anything.
Yeah, that's technology.
But they still existed. But
No, they did, yeah, but it's like, but you couldn't do anything about it. So it's like through the miracles of technology, you're able to do these things now. And like more power to you. I really do think that if you see, okay, let's just quickly go back to this. So me saying, I really think that you have the power to do whatever it is you want. Like if you really want to change your gender or have a baby, even though you don't, like whatever. More power to you. But at the same time, it's like, then why are we being forced to take a booster that's showing us? Not that we're being forced to yet, but I'm saying if we do get forced to, I'll be extremely salty because it's like, how come we can make changes in some areas but not other areas?
Right.
Even though it's still an individualistic choice. Like we showed that transmission of the virus is still possible, even if you have the vaccine. So I'm really not protecting anyone, just myself. So like individual choices, like what happened to that,
Right.
But anyways, technology, and then won't even care about this because there's no viruses, only computer viruses in the metaverse. Yeah. Anyways, definitely check out Witcher.
Oh yeah, very good show.
Yeah, Witcher is super sick, and we will definitely continue that. You said that they're writing a third script already?
No, the third script is already done.
Oh, okay, it's done. Wow, okay.
So, yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah. Okay, let's just, because I'm going to title this like Witcher first impression, so I feel like we need to give a little more weight onto Witcher. Favorite thing and most unfavorite thing about Witcher so far?
Favorite thing, I think it's just the world. Like they're putting you into this world.
Okay, fair point.
Right. I don't know what I can.
I feel like everyone's got a good backstory. It is good.
Yeah, and they all have. Well, it's based on a book, right?
That's the crazy part, dude. It's based on a book. It's not even a video game.
It's not a video. The video game was based on a book, so it's like the show is based on the book. So for me, I only got a snippet of it from playing the game. So I've learned so much more from the show itself.
Right. Yeah.
That,
dude, that's so trippy. Like Game of Thrones was a book. Witcher was a book. I didn't even know that. I thought Witcher was a game.
Yeah, see, that's how they've been working on the game for a long time too. So it's like the book's been there for even longer, and it's interesting to see it now in a show. So I do like that they're putting you into that world. I don't know. I don't have anything yet to dislike, just because it's only in the early
stages.
We're just stepping into season 2, right? So
it makes sense.
It's hard to say what
you dislike.
Yeah.
Okay, I have my most salient dislike. So I'm gonna be with you, and I'm gonna say the thing I like the most. Well, I'm gonna be more specific. I like the Witcher community. Like the world, obviously, yeah, they've fleshed out the world, but I really like the Witcher community. I obviously would love to join that community. That's like my nature. But the thing I don't like about the show is the costumes. I feel like Geralt's costume is a little weird to me, or like the toning. Maybe it's not even the costume. Maybe it's just like the way you toned the show. Like you should have toned it darker. Like
I got you.
increase the contrast. Like I could tell you're wearing a costume. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, the world feels like certain sets feel like
costumey, right?
like they're sets.
Yeah. So that's my only gripe with it. But it's just like it could be an issue with too much quality. So like when you watch things in IMAX, I remember when I saw Avengers in IMAX, I was like, I could tell they're wearing costumes because it's too high def. But then when I watched it in regular, like everything was toned down, like the detail wasn't there, so I was able to like see past the costumes and look at the acting. You know what I mean?
I think that's more to do maybe like when you go with bigger screens, right? It's like
No, but they said that in filming too. Like if you're filming in 4K, you have to use a real rock because they can tell it's a plastic rock.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's what I mean. Where
Oh.
even like CG aspects.
Yeah. You tell the CG, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, or because they can't go super high quality with CG yet, or
Oh, because the
to make
money?
it realistic enough.
Oh yeah.
It fits for lower grain, lesser, what do you call, like FPS kind of thing, or in less grain, they look a bit more better than in much more high def or IMAX level.
That's
quality.
kind of ironic because it's like the benefit is the detriment. Like the benefit is
Yeah.
it's more high quality,
like-
it's more realistic, but the detriment is it's too realistic.
Well, the graphics portion has to catch up
Yeah,
to the
true.
quality.
And but also the costume portion, because again, like that was my gripe. I was like, why is Geralt wearing like a costume? Or like you said, like the set pieces look like set pieces.
But I think I can,
Yeah,
as a TV
Whatever.
thing,
Yeah, it's a TV
because
show.
it's a TV thing, and like they filmed it, you know,
Yeah,
it's like
during COVID too. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like-
yeah. It's like, you know, it's Witcher. I like the world,
Yeah,
so
totally.
these
Yeah,
are things
yeah.
that I can.
You forgive it.
Pass-
I was just being very
Gotcha.
picky. Yeah. Actually, one last thing. How scary was that demon? The first enemy. I was actually so scared. Like with how she was. I was like,
Oh, the creepy, like
yeah. I'm afraid of
trying to
like,
be
ghosts.
friends?
Yeah, no, I'm afraid of ghosts. It's like freak me out, right? That's indoctrination because of Catholicism, because they talk about ghosts all the time. So I'm like naturally afraid of ghosts. And when she was sleeping and then that thing came down, I was like, oh my God, is this what's happening to me every night? Like, you know, you start thinking like, what is happening while I'm sleeping? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was so freaky. Even the way when Siri woke up and she was looking at her, and the way they created that hue on her. Remember, it was kind of like, at first I was like, am I tripping right now? But like I was like, no, it's definitely like the filming of it.
Yeah.
The way they made it like glassy. You know what I'm saying? Like when she was looking at the demon, it was kind of glassy.
I don't remember.
Oh, all right.
Can't remember that.
Okay, well, or even the animation.
Was it
the
a
way-
quick thing?
No. It was like when she was looking at her, like whenever she would look at the demon.
Oh,
it had like a hue,
like an
around
aura
it.
thing?
Kind of, but like also like as if they were trying to do
Pulsating
like a
a
dream.
little?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I thought I was tripping. I was like, what's going on right now? But then also the movement of her. Remember when she's creeping up to the bed? It was like the way they made it was very like choppy. That stuff freaks me out too. Like when things are choppy, it's like, what is this?
Yeah, it's like yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. These are very much in the.
Yeah.
Well, she's technically a demon, right? Or wasn't she?
Yeah, she was a demon. Actually, this
Vampire
reminded me
demon.
like of this one time I was like super blasted, and you figure out what blasted means. We were young, and I was like super blasted, and everything was moving like strobe lights. Right?
Oh, okay.
And I remember like Sid was walking, and I was like, dude, you're like walking like strobe lights, tripping me out. It was the exact same thing. It was like choppy, and her movement is like, that stuff creeps me out. I don't know why. It's like because you're moving at an off time, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I wonder why that creeps me out. I don't know. Because I can't pick up your timing, and I feel like you can, Like if we were fighting, I couldn't read your timing because you're too choppy, and it's like, how would I defend myself?
Yeah.
I think that was my
Right,
subconscious.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. You don't know which one's the actual.
Yeah, like what's the timing of your
Which
movement?
movement?
Because
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
start
yeah.
breaking things up. Like what's
And
going on?
it's not evenly
smooth.
timed.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
it's timed, it's like, okay, I just get your rhythm, move out of the way at the right time. Yeah. Yeah, that part scared me. And then when he stabbed her, and then she's pulling herself
she's
in, I was like, dude, this is so creepy. Like, or like how he walked in and then she was feeding on his blood.
Yeah.
But then that was crazy because he was like, I was letting her do that because they were like in love. Actually, that's a really interesting point that they made in the show too. Like it was almost like a bad relationship or something. You know what I mean? Like, but he's like, but I loved her. And then Witcher was like, you're now set free. But he's like, free for what? Like, I lost the love of my life. You know?
Because he was basically alone, right?
Because he was alone, yeah. But I mean, he's human now, so chill, bro. What is what it is. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but emotional attachments. They're
True.
strong.
Do you see how they set up Siri when she's like, he'll come for you too? That was interesting because like, is this foreboding for the future? You know? Is it? I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
No, in the game, you play the game.
Yeah, but the game was.
Did he ever fight Siri? No.
No, you don't fight Siri. You're looking for Siri.
The whole game?
Yeah.
Oh, slam.
Because she's being. It's they talk about the those creatures that are coming, or those that soldiers that are coming.
Sure,
not Nilfgaard or something. It's like that's happening in
the game,
in the Witcher 3 game. So they were going after her or something.
It makes me want to play the game, but I feel like the game's way too long.
It's too long. It took me like so many years to finally end up finishing it. Right. I can't. It's a world as well, but it's like that's why there are stories like this, like what happened to the beast and.
Oh yeah, side quests. You mean?
Yeah. There are a lot of these things in the game too. It's just it's a whole world. I just can't. It took me so long because I didn't play it all the time, but it was just segments by segment. But
yeah, and me being even more of a casual gamer than you, it's like I would never finish that game.
Yeah,
I can barely play Halo right now. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
But that's why I like Halo. Just 12-minute matches. We're good. How's that going, by the way?
It's going good. Yeah. They've opened up for like each week guys are doing something different, but it's like they have Slayer if you just want Slayer.
Yes. So they finally did it.
I don't know.
I told you.
But I don't know if it's staying, right? It's like these are like little things that we're doing in between.
Oh, okay.
So they did the battle, even the battle pass changed again.
Okay, so remember my prediction was that they would allow you to choose specific ones?
But it only has Slayer there, right? So they don't even have like the option to choose capture the flag. That's what I'm saying. I think they're.
I only like Slayer, bro.
No, I understand that. I'm saying that I don't know if they're doing like this week is Slayer because they have different types of Slayer, right? Even in that, it's
really?
like so they have the Feist.
Free for all.
They have a free for all now.
Yeah.
Like one on one, 1v, whatever, right? And then there's Team Slayer. Then there's like different. They have different Slayer titles now.
Ooh, okay.
So for this week, I don't know if it's for like this week or something like that, right?
Forever.
I don't know.
I might jump into. I might just play because like I've just been waiting for Slayer. The only reason why I haven't jumped on Halo is because like the randomization. I still don't like that. But if I can just play Slayer,
the quick play option is still there.
Nice.
But like. You can't choose like, I just want to play oddball, for instance, right?
Oh yeah.
So like
in time.
I don't know. I think they're just playing around and seeing
what catches fire,
what's working, right? So it's like
like I said, I'm like because I knew that it wouldn't take long before that they'd be like, people just want to play specific games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're always keeping it on random was like. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I think that they were gonna. Yeah, I think what we were like disagreeing, but I think where we should have just agreed is like probably both are gonna change. Like we had, I said like battle pass, and then or not battle like the battle pass leveling is gonna change, and then you were saying they're not gonna change that. They're gonna change. We were both correct in the sense that we should just said both will be included.
Two changes.
Why not?
Totally.
Why would they just focus on one?
But that's the genius of these online games that are free because you can just keep adapting them. It's such a genius business model because you're making money off of derivatives like side stuff like purchasing costumes or purchasing battle
Yeah,
passes.
yeah, yeah.
Because the costumes aren't cheap. I remember I was like, oh, I'll buy one, but it was like $29. I was like, no, I'm not buying a $29.
Really?
Yeah, it was like crazy. That's why I didn't buy it. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy the skin. Like, there's no point. But like, if you make your money off of derivatives, not the game itself, then you could just infinitely keep upgrading the game, which is what GTA 5 saw. And I think that that's the business model going forward for every game. Like Fortnite is still, it's the same game. You didn't purchase, and it's free. Like they didn't change anything, but they kept adding on things that people can purchase, and
Yeah.
it's like NFTs. They just
Yeah.
want things that other people don't have.
Yeah.
That's how they make the money.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So next week we're gonna watch Spider-Man. That's gonna be dope. It's gonna be full spoilers, so get excited. Our prediction is we were saying this last night.
I don't know if I want to say predictions.
Okay. All right. Really wanna
Let's just keep it to.
until. No, I'm gonna say it. What?
Okay, yeah, fine.
All right. So our
We already talked
prediction-
about it, right? So
What do you mean?
predictions.
Yeah, last night.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just capturing on
All right, that's fine.
audio now.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
So
that's
our,
fine.
Our prediction is the final villain that they kept trying to hide. That they're like, oh, you should have scrubbed this scene from the.
Did they say
Brazil
there's
one.
another villain though, or
That's hypothetical because of what was launched
Oh,
on.
okay.
Like Brazil's mistake, how they showed like that one scene of like another person
Got-
getting
yeah,
punched.
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
who's
yeah.
that other person he punched? Got punched in midair. So it means they made somebody invisible. Venom will show up.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes no sense that Venom wouldn't show up because Venom was, although again, we haven't seen the movie and it's already out, but so we're making a prediction on things that we could easily Google, but we're not Googling.
We're not gonna. We're not touching that yet.
But like, why wouldn't Venom be in the movie if he was at the end of?
It was
Like,
in
even-
his world. Yeah.
But that's weird. We never even put that together. Like when they showed the commercial, neither of us said, "Wait, how come they didn't show Venom?" Because at the end of Venom, it was him transitioning to that world. Like we didn't put two and two together because we were so like obsessed with the other stuff that was going
Other
on.
Spider-Mans. Yeah.
Yeah. So the prediction is he'll be evil at first, turn good. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Till next time. Take it easy, Bish.
Peace.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors: Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Bish.
Peace.